This is one of my best areas for tomatoes. You know, in your yard you only have so much sun, so this is an area that gets pretty much 6 hours of sun a day, so it's pretty good because morning sun especially, and then you get some mid-afternoon. Right now it's about 1 o'clock, so you can see it's getting pretty much full sun and should get full sun for another couple hours. So I have a wide variety of things I'm growing over here as far as tomatoes are concerned. These are the grape tomatoes, and you can see they're flowering like crazy. And over here are some other tomatoes that are coming in. These are little wall sconces I found in the garbage that I just was using as my lattice to run the tomatoes through. And over here, a little collection of vine tomatoes. So every year I like to take a store-bought tomato, take the seeds out of it, and grow it and see what I get. So this year I decided to do the vine tomatoes that you see in the store, obviously the ones that come in the little clusters. I did that in this pot, although this pot's pretty crowded. You can see this pot actually has probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants in this little pot. I do make sure the pots have big holes in the bottom so they can root out, but it takes a while to do so. So the resources are pretty limited in this. This has a combination of the grape tomatoes I love growing from Hawaii. These are, look at the size of these clusters. There's like 15, 20 tomatoes on one little cluster. That, but in a crowded pot with the vine tomato. And the vine tomato is actually doing pretty well. So here's a awesome little cluster. They're not huge because, again, I'm limiting my resources here, but there are about, I don't know, 8 in that cluster. That's a good 5 in that cluster right there. And then there's clusters all along. Here's another cluster forming. And then here's actually a tomato we can even probably harvest for. And this is where I also planted out in the ground. Ironically, the ground ones aren't doing as well. It's been really dry. We're kind of in a drought here, so although I do have sprinklers, the ground's not as saturated as it used to be. Plus, we got a tree here. I have katuk bushes here. I have some lemongrass back here, so some tomatoes below. So there's a lot of things sucking up the resources, and although this isn't a small pot, I do water it quite often and fertilize it pretty well. So anyway, at the end of the day, bottom line is, give it a try. Last year was kind of more of an heirloom tomato. You can see the video attached, or the video linked, so to speak. Just a little music video I did showing you some of the tomatoes, but that was again last year's store-bought tomato. This year's store-bought tomato is the vine tomato, and here I'm in South Florida. I get these from Publix, so this is a Publix vine tomato that has now turned into a batch of tomatoes for me. And what I'll do here is I'll probably capture some seeds and try those next year as a second generation vine tomato. Anyway, see you later.